are at the National Stadium, Providence, the venue for the third T20 International between West Indies and India. Now, West Indies and India came here with the West Indies having a 2-0 lead at the end of the match. India keeping the series alive with victory by 7 wickets thanks to a special from Suryakumar Yadav. Alongside me, Akeem, Greene. West Indies came here today with lots of hope of winning that series, the first that they would have had against India since 2016. It wasn't accomplished, and the series is still alive, India in it as well as West Indies.
Yeah, even though there's a lot of talk about this being India B, C, D, whatever team they want to say, it's still a quality side. And I think we had to expect at some point in this series that, India would have bounced back and showed that they are India. They were the more formidable units. And to be fair to them, West Indies didn't put up the best of totals. I believe the conditions today, even though very humid, were a bit more favorable for batting. They were short, in my opinion, about 15-20 runs. And also you would hear Brandon King soon also allude to that, the fact that, I still believe that they were off par in terms of that target, albeit with the form that Sky was in today, I don't believe any target would have been out of reach for India.
Right, let's go back from the start. West Indies had a good opening stand between Kyle Mayers and Brandon King. Lost their way a bit in the middle, as they did in the previous game, but they did well enough with that Rovman power innings to get back to 159.
Yeah, I think Avenash just pointed out again, and I think that is maybe a drop in the ocean to the bigger problems with West Indies. They never been able to string together a comprehensive performance, where it's all with the bat and then with the ball in the field. Yet again, we saw that slip, and that slip in the middle again, I think would have caused them that 20, maybe 25 more extra runs, which I believe, given maybe the changes they made to the bowling attack, they could have had a little bit more leeway to apply that pressure and maybe squeeze the Indians out a bit and seal the series, which for me would have been the biggest thing for them, being able to head to Florida 2 dead rubbers. That would have been a big hoorah for West Indies, especially of late, given all the stuff they've been through with not qualifying for the World Cup, etc. To beat India, matters not B, C, A or D. To beat India in a series, that would have been big for them.
You think West Indies missed the trick though with that start that they had to maybe push up Nicholas Pooran given the form he was in?
Yeah, certainly. Again, it's the proactiveness, it's the thinking to do things a bit different. I'm absolutely right. Actually, in the fan chat, walking around the stands, a lot of people were saying, Akeem, why are they batting Hetty so low? Maybe in this situation, you could have looked to maybe play him as a quote-unquote pinch hitter role. Just come up the order, look to be, express yourself, change the dynamics of the game, and put some pressure on a relatively inexperienced India bowling attack. So, yes, again, I agree with you 100% that they missed the trick to do something different and apply some pressure back on India.
Right, and I would want to see Shea Hope in that fourth game in Florida on Saturday in the space of Johnson Charles, who has been struggling. But let's talk about the run chase. Jaishwal on debut, he went early, but Suryakumar Yadav. We see these things on IPL, but to see it live, man, wonderful now.
Sky is different.
Destructively classy. That's
as Brandon would have mentioned, there's not much you could do. When you have a guy that can score at any part of the field, it's hard to set a field. You could look to bowl slow balls and put back a straight field. He scoops it over. You go short, he's good on the pull. You go short outside, wide outside the off stump, he can get you over backward point for 6. So it's so hard to bowl with him, and then he can play that kind of helicopter shot if you go at his pads and get you over mid wicket as well. So it's basically any part of the field he can score, and he was a bit short of form in his series, but he came up trumps at the right time, and they're also heading to Florida, which to me is like a home away from home for India, and the conditions there at times really play into some high-scoring matches. So I think India have all to play for with 2 matches remaining.
Right, so we'll hear from Sky and Brandon King shortly, but before we get to those interviews, a word on Tilak Varma. Young guy into this Indian setup, BDC, whatever team you want to call it, but he's proving his worth here on this tour.
Product of the IPL. Avenash, it's something I wish we could have been talking about our CPL players are producing the same. But it just goes to show that when you have a good product, a good system, like what India is having with their IPL, and the confident, Tilak wouldn't have spoken today, but we spoke through Sunday after that innings he had, and the confidence that these guys in, and when you listen to them, failure is understandable. Failure is understandable. Going out and making duck as you would say in cricket, isn't a bad thing. It's about having that positive belief that you can go and dominate the best attack in the world. And I think we see it with these Indian batsmen. We saw it with Rishabh Pant over his career until he got injured, and we see it with Sky, and we see it with Shubman Gill and Jaiswal. These guys believe that no matter who you are, they can dominate you, and we've seen it again with Tilak Varma in this series. And certainly, as India looks to regroup and find a different mojo in T20s and ODI cricket in particular, I think they have the ingredients to become again a world star in white ball cricket.
Right, so let's hear from Suryakumar Yadav, with the man of the match for today, 83 of 44, and the West Indies opener, Brandon King. Sky, good innings today. You entertained this crowd here, Providence, seeing you for the very first time batting in such a manner that you did. Just talk a bit about your approach, because right from the start you were out of the blocks.
I think I didn't do anything different. I've been batting the same way since last 2 years, and today was also the same day. I had to just go out and express myself the way I've been doing in the last few years, and everything kept falling in place the way I batted. I feel Tilak Varma, for his age, he's showing amazing maturity. I think all credit goes to him, his hard work जो उसने अभी तक इतना किया हुआ है. I hope कि वो ऐसे ही करते रहे. But yeah, Tilak Varma is a star.
Brandon, 159 batting first, satisfied with that total at the halfway stage?
Yeah, I mean, we assessed earlier, and it was a difficult wicket to bat on. So we were saying 160, hopefully 170. So we thought we could go there and defend it. I think you have to give credit to Sky. He batted really well and put them in a position where the chase became easy for them.
Right. With the bowling effort, where do you think you guys lost today?
I think we could have been a bit more consistent. But I don't want to really put any blame on our bowlers. They've been doing very well for us. As I say, I would give the credit to Sky. He played an incredible innings that really released the pressure for them.
Right. Now, when a guy like Sky bats the way he did today, how difficult is that as a bowling unit?
Yeah, definitely, because it's a player that scores all around the ground. You know, you're not quite sure what he's going to do. You know, so it's difficult, I'm sure, for the captain to even set field sometime. So when he's on, it's very hard to contain him. So credit to him.